hear a song that makes me laugh and smile and sing to you.
People do, even when I tell them that I didn't write it, they still think that I did.
Yeah.
Because there was this rumor, rumors they spread like wildfire.
Right.
And especially the wrong stuff, the wrong information. And that's one of those situations that everywhere I go, that they're like, so you wrote that song about your daughter? No, I did not. I did not.
On this episode of Smoke and Ice, we bring a legend whose voice defines romance for lovers everywhere.
Yes, he is a singer, actor, entertainer with timeless hits like With You, Everlasting Love, and somehow he keeps the fire going.
From his Pinehurst roots to his chart-topping music, his story brings soul, passion, and that staying power.
We're going to delve into artist creativity, what keeps him staying relevant, and just have a fun conversation. This is Smoke and Ice.
Welcome to Smoke and Ice with Kelly and Wayne. This is the podcast where you're not only informed, but entertained. Sit back, relax, and remember, where there's smoke, there's fire, and you can't chill without ice. Now, here are your hosts, Kelly Allen and Wayne McCullers.
On this week's episode, we have Larceny Kentucky Straight Bourbon, and this one is a smooth sip and good for soulful conversations, which we're gonna have today, I promise you. But it's got a nice finish. And what do you think about it?
Well, to be honest, there's a lock on the bottle. Let's see if we got the key.
Well, let's
That's
pour.
what I think about
Let's
it.
pour and see if we can unlock that thing.
Right. Say when.
When?
All right. All right, cheers to you.
Cheers.
It's smooth. Definitely the usual with vanilla, maybe a little caramel flavor.
I get a little butterscotch behind it too.
Little butterscotch?
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
butterscotch.
Well, that's interesting because I haven't tasted many with that butterscotch appeal to it. So,
Yeah, I mean it's light. It's little.
Right.
It's in there, but you can taste it.
Right. Yeah, and I don't have mine on ice, so you didn't see me make that burning face. So it's pretty smooth, especially on a good day.
So Smoke, since you bring the smoke, what do we have today?
Right. Today we have Shady Moose. So Shady Moose is an Ecuadorian cigar wrapped in Connecticut paper. That's the highlights. So it has long fillers of Dominican, Nicaraguan, Colombian, United States, and for a binder, Mexican. So this is pretty much, South America with a touch of, little touch of U.S. in it. So let's see what it tastes like. Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, it's smooth, very smooth.
It is smooth. Because last week, we always have one that's an outlier. And last week was bitter. I didn't like it.
It was. This is actually extremely light. So the pull on this one is light. The blend is light. There's no heavy aftertaste. The flavors, I taste the wood in it, the wood and the earth.
It's a little creamy.
A little creamy? Okay, yeah. Try it. Shady Moose. I walked in and asked for a good cigar, and this is what they recommend, so this did not disappoint.
And it does not deliver shade.
No,
Although it's called Shady Moose.
none at all. Okay.
Our special guest is up next.
Stick around for Smoke and Ice.
Hi, I'm Kelly Allen. Join me each weekday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for Midday Energy Rush on Positive365.net. I'll bring you all your favorite music from every genre and every decade, plus comedy and positive thoughts all in one place. Go to Positive365.net and you won't be disappointed. That's positive365.net. We're positively different.
Positively different. Positive 365.
Tonight's guest is truly an icon of R&B. He's an Emmy award-winning singer, songwriter, actor, and his voice
Carries on.
man doesn't. Beyond the stage, he continues to collaborate, create, and give us more of that sound that we've always loved.
Please welcome to Smoking Ice, Tony Terry.
Tony, it's good to see you again. How have
Good
you
to be
been since the
seen,
last
not
time I
you.
seen you?
That's perfect.
You been doing well?
I'm doing great, man.
You were born in Pinehurst, North Carolina.
That's like deja vu all over again.
You too? You got this feeling too? so you was born in Pinehurst, North Carolina, and then your parents moved to Washington, D.C., and that's where you went.
They took me with them, that's right.
In Washington, D.C., how did that help create and make you who you are?
Well, you know, let's see. Okay, well, so when I grew up in D.C., Mayor Marion Barry was large and in charge. And because of him, even though he had a lot of personal issues,
Right.
you know, he was a people person. I think that if he were alive today and with whatever, all the flaws that he had, he would still be mayor. That's how dope he was. You know, he created a program called the Summer Youth Employment Program, which, you know, employed, you know, teenage high school kids during the summer. So we got a chance to perform with a company called the Everyman Street Theater Company as a summer job. So we would go out into the local communities and do full-fledged productions with sound, stage, costumes, and we would take the arts into the neighborhoods that would not normally get an opportunity to partake in the arts. And that's when it all kind of shaped up for me in DC, growing up and going to DC public schools and being a part of it when DC was known as Chocolate City, which it is no longer known as. It was definitely an experience.
Okay, so moving into DC, you know, like most artists, they get started in the church. You went to the Duke Ellington School of the Performing Arts. I'm a performing arts person from Buffalo. When was it that you found your voice? Was it in the church or was it in school?
It was in church. I got all the groundwork laid in church, and you know, I was in 5 choirs at one time. At once, not at one time, but at once, I was in 5 choirs at the same time, and you know, it was a little bit stressful, but you know, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about listening to the next person and blending and harmonies, and you know, so at a very young age, I knew about things like that. And by the time I was ready for Duke Ellington, I was ready for it.
I saw that you did, before you broke out as a solo artist, you did some background singing for a couple of people. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it started out as, the first one was the Boogie Boys, who's, well, I had done some recording before then, but recordings of note was the Boogie Boys, whose big hit at the time was A Fly Girl, which was a massive record. And I was working on the follow-up to that with them, and when I got there the first time, Parliament Funkadelic was in the studio, and I was a huge fan of Parliament Funkadelic and George Clinton and Bootsy Collins. And when I got there, I was a little bit overwhelmed. But I had a friend there with me, and he was this typical New York energy, and he was he was all over the place. And he was telling the producer of the session, who would end up being my manager, you know, if you put Tony in the booth, you'll fire all them jokers. I mean, you'll fire all of them. And I'm saying, you know, cut it out, you know. But Ted was intrigued, so he asked me to go into the booth, and I started, you know, doing things at one take. The first thing they would give me, I'd nail it. And he did fire those guys. He did fire Parliament, which was unbelievable. He fired them, and I did that album. And it was the first R&B, it was the first rap record to incorporate R&B hooks. It was on Capitol Records called Survival of the Freshest. And since then, many records have had R&B hooks or whatever. But that was the first one, certainly that I know about, and that started it all.
Okay, nice.
So we'll be remiss if we don't bring up the song that everybody talks about all the time, the legendary "With You."
When I'm with you, I hear a song that makes me laugh and smile and sing to you. When I'm with you, I feel so free. I feel that love is gonna take control of me. When I'm with you, y'all know it.
It's for real. What I feel.
When I'm with you, yes it is.
Written not by you, but you took it on so much that many people feel like you wrote it yourself.
Yeah, I definitely made it mine.
Right.
And people do, even when I tell them that I didn't write it, they still think that I did.
Yeah.
Because there was this rumor, rumors they spread like wildfire.
Right.
And especially the wrong stuff, the wrong information. And that's one of those situations that everywhere I go, that they're like, so you wrote that song about your daughter? No, I did not. I did not. But it was written by a friend of mine, Raymond Reeder, who was one of my musical peers. He didn't go to Duke Ellington, but he was around the crew at the same time. And he went on to write for and work with Renee and Angela Winbush, and many other, Yolanda Adams, which we both did. I actually did Yolanda's very first single, for which we were nominated for a Grammy, called Gotta Have Love. I had this orange afro. I tried to dye my hair and it didn't work, and my hair ended up orange. And I had to go do the shoot. So if you ever see the video, I got an orange afro. Don't laugh.
Well, I've said it before. I'm pretty sure you probably heard this many a time. But thanks to you, brother, a fresh flat top, a rayon shirt, and your lyrics got plenty of women back in the day.
That's right.
Thank you, my good sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have heard that a lot. I got hit up for some child support too a couple of times.
Oh yeah. Listen, I was plagiarizing you before plagiarizing became famous, because I was writing your lyrics and notes, passing it on.
Yeah, that's what's up. You can't try that now though. They'll have one of these young ladies that ask you to have a couple of seats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. So, what was your inspiration behind Everlasting Love? Because that blew me away as well.
Everlasting Love was co-written by Bobby Reese and myself, and I didn't really care for it, honestly. Okay. I didn't think it was anything special, but Bobby kept saying it was anointed. He just said that from the very beginning. This song is anointed. Right. And I'm saying, I don't know. Even when it came time to choose it as a single, I was a bit hesitant, but it worked. It became my number 2 biggest selling record. And it's still getting a lot of airplay on both gospel and mainstream radio.
Was it meant to be a gospel track? Because I used to hear it every Sunday on Foxy and K97.5. Listen, at 12 o'clock, they're going to play what's going down. But 10 o'clock, Everlasting Love is on.
Yeah, it is a gospel song or inspirational song.
Gotcha.
But, it's kind of left up to the interpretation.
Gotcha.
Whatever it means to you. It's kind of, there's only one source of love, for real. And so if it's that, then it can be gospel, it can be R&B. If it's love, love is love. And as I said, there's only one source of that. And if it is that, then it can be sung anywhere.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to go too far passed, and I don't want to hold, one song over your head, but I know that when With You came out, and with the industry the way it is, your team didn't really feel like it was a song that should come out, and it was something that was very, even today, it's still something that people request from you, even so much that Anita Baker said, here, take this so that you can get your video out and do all the stuff that you need to do. So, like, how did that make you feel that someone who wasn't even on your label decided that this was something that was really real, and the label that was behind you didn't even feel the same way?
It was a big deal. It was a big deal. I didn't believe her at first, when she called me. And when that check came, it was certified and it cleared, I was like, woo. It was on and popping. But it was great. And it was a big deal, not the label not wanting to support that record because they thought they knew better than me about what it should be, what my next single should be, and they were wrong. They were wrong. But and then when it was proven that they were wrong, and the record just started to live without the support of the label, and then of course when Anita Baker stepped in with that check, after that, when it really began to take off, then the powers that be at the label tried to take all of the credit. They tried to take it all, and I learned at that time that that it was a whole political thing, because I didn't want to upset the machine, because you want to keep their attention. If they're giving you attention and money, and promotional stuff, then you want to keep that. But it's an ego-driven business. So even though they were lying, I had to let that be so that I could continue to get the support and the financial attention, the financial support that they were giving me at the time.
Right. Okay. Well, with that being said, you have stayed relevant throughout all these years, which is a blessing. So you keeping your style of your vocals and not, switching to what's the newest fad, how does that work for you? Because you have a unique voice, you know that, right?
I sing the way that I sing.
Right.
Production styles vary, and of course the times change, but it's all about, okay, so I give you the elements, but how they're just treated differently, they're processed differently. And so again, I sing the way that I sing, so I think the most important thing is who's pushing the buttons, the producer, whoever that is, because the producer and the engineer really are the stars in the studio, because they're the ones that will take a flat demo, and if you will, and then turn it into something special. I remember that when we were working on my first album, how one of the engineers would lock himself in the studio for 3 days at a time, mixing a record. But when he came out, it was like, that thing happened, that he put that fire on it. She's Fly was that song, Lovey Dovey was, like that. All of the singles were like that. He'd go in and lock himself in the studio and kick everybody out and go to work for 3 days. What he was doing in there for 3 days, it might have only taken him a day, and then he was chilling the other 2 days. I don't know. But when he unlocked the studio and let us in, there was some fire happening.
Right. Well, that lovey-dovey feeling was fire.
It was.
When I'm with you, oh, it's so true. Yeah. When I'm with you, that lovey-dovey feeling is a feeling that I get when I'm with you, baby.
That had David Cole and Robert Clavillis from CNC Music Factory.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they played on that record right before they blew up. They were in the studio with me working on that record.
Nice. Well, those were definitely songs that they're not just, those were songs. Those are songs that still transcend.
Absolutely.
But for me though, I don't really perform those two songs anymore.
Right.
Why? Because they sound corny to me.
I mean, you're allowed to say that.
But again, it's all in how it's treated. It's all in even live. You know, it's how we present it. But you know, people, if that was your favorite song and you're coming to see me for the first time or whatever, and I play that song, well, I would imagine that you, as the listener or fan, want to hear the song as you remember it, as it was. But that way was corny to me. So if I'm gonna do it, I got to do something different. We'll have to find another way to express the song and bring it up to 2025. And I have done it. I just don't do it often. I just don't do those songs often.
Right. Gotcha.
But your music is timeless. So even if you add a little spin on it, it's timeless.
Yeah, I mean, some of it. I mean, because we don't say fly and fresh anymore.
Right.
That's kind of got a little time stamp on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't say what's up like that no more. But the ones that are timeless are the ones that, you know, came from a genuine place. And, you know, we didn't make it up. You know, Lovey Dovey was not made up. Lovey Dovey was, you know, when I was on my way to my very first recording session for my very first album, I was on the train in New York, on the number 1 train. If you're from New York, then you know what I'm talking about, the number 1 train. It's the only train that goes from uptown to Harlem all the way downtown to Times Square and beyond. And so I'm on the train going to the session, and I'm like, I gotta write the song. And that's the only thing that kept coming to me was, it's that lovey-dovey feeling I get. And I would rip the page out of the book because I thought, this is whack. And that's all that would come to me was that. And so when I got there, and I was walking up to the producer's door. His name was Dr. Bob something. I don't remember the last name, but he was working on a track, and it was what would end up being Lovey Dovey, but he was working on it for In Vogue. Bob Kazuri, Dr. Bob Kazuri. He was working on this track for In Vogue. And so I'm standing outside his door, this is before I even knocked on his door. I'm standing outside, and his music was fire. And I started singing the words that I had just written, which was Lovey Dovey. I started singing that to what I was hearing through the door. And it fit like it was supposed to happen. So when he answered the door, I was stoked. I was excited. Because I thought he was working on that for me. And, you know, and he wasn't.
Right.
He was working on it for In Vogue. And I was like, yeah, but what I just wrote fits this song exactly. And he wanted to hear it. So we recorded it right there with the demo. And those vocals that I recorded for the demo ended up being the final vocals for the recording. In other words, I didn't have to go back and re-record the song. Once that performance right there was what ended up being on the recording.
Oh,
and
wow.
In Vogue never knew that the track was for them.
Listen, you ever met In Vogue?
Yeah, several
Are
times.
they as fine in person as they were on TV? I just gotta ask.
Not so much now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Oh, yes.
They're still
I
lovely
need a drink.
babies. They still lovely.
But before I take this sip, so not only are you phenomenal behind the mic, but you're also an actor.
Yes.
You've done so many great things from plays to film, and it's just amazing. Like, and I know you went to performing arts school, so they hone us to do all this stuff, right?
You know? Yeah.
But how did that make you feel? Like, do you feel like one is more than the other, or that you're natural at both?
Well, the thing with theater is it's a script, right? And the actor's job is to go to this place emotionally, wherever the script dictates, consistently. Can't change the dialogue, can't ad-lib unless you've been given that license to do so by the writer. But, you know, you can't, like, for example, let me use Shakespeare. You can't change the words, because if you do, then you're not doing Shakespeare.
Right.
You have to honor the script. You know, some people, it's a labor of love to write a script. Never, you know, it might take someone 5 years to write a script, and if an actor gets the script and then disrespects the writer by making up words or doing something other than what's in the script, that's a cardinal sin, and that can cost you your job. So you have to learn the script, and you have to have the ability to go to wherever it is emotionally that you have to go every night consistently. So I don't care if you have to cry and you can't, and you got to kick your stub your toe or something, and that's what you got to do. If you got to think of a bad memory that makes you upset every time you think of it, then that's what you have to do. The audience doesn't care, but as long as you get to hit the mark, the emotional mark, so that you can take the people with you, that's what you have to do.
It all came from us.
You tell me I shouldn't have to.
Socrates. You're not as dumb as you dress.
I sure could use 40 acres.
You be lucky if you get $40. Sit your simple Simon ass down. Now!
Now, on the music side of things, while it can be similar, we do kind of stick to kind of a script in terms of we kind of say the same dialogue when we're setting up a song, but you have the freedom to create and do different things because it's my music. But I do have the freedom to be creative. With the theater stuff, it's set. You know, your job is to step into this character and allow this character in, and then bring those words to life. But you have to do those words, and so that can be a bit of a challenge. I've been on stage before and forgotten the script and had to make up words.
Right.
I've forgotten the words to my own songs before.
Well,
but yeah, I mean, I love the art of sharing. Sharing the music, sharing the theatrical experiences. I love that.
Well, you brought up an interesting point when you said scripts. So, scripts versus songs. How many songs have people brought to you that they wanted you to, sing whatever they wrote, and you just like, no, I'm not feeling this, or, what's your process in that for choosing a song?
First of all, countless songs have been brought to me that I didn't like. I mean, if it hits me, then I'll do it. Sometimes I might listen to it and hate it, and then I might come back to it in a year or 6 months and feel differently about it. I'm working on a song literally right now in the studio that I initially recorded in '96. In 1996, and there's a whole backstory behind the song. I don't know why the song won't go away, but it won't. It keeps coming back to me. It's my song that I wrote, but it has wound up I recorded it at Quad Studios in New York, which is, I think Quad is the studio that Tupac was shot at initially.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lots of crazy things have happened at Quad, but I recorded it at Quad in New York, and one of the owners, I don't know how he ended up with it. He ended up with a copy of it, and he called some DJs, some remixers, and he has since passed away, but right before he passed away, he called a couple of DJs into the city, had them come to Quad Studios, and he gave them the project, my project, and asked them to finish it. I don't know anything about that. I didn't know that had happened. I was contacted by one of those producers who told me that he had been given the music like 7 years prior to him contacting me, which I thought was strange. I'm like, why is this song coming back? It's called Brand New Man, and it won't go away. So after all these years, I'm finally finishing it.
Wow, nice. All right. Gotcha.
Listen, everything that you touch, first of all, guys, I've never known anyone who can do a run and then match that run in a different key over and over again. Very intimidating to me and so many others.
It's intimidating.
It is intimidating because
it's just a skill set that
together and you've done. Listen, You
But when I
intimidate
was,
me so
no,
much.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
You
ahead.
intimidate me so
I didn't mean to cut you
much.
off.
No, go ahead.
No,
Go
when
ahead.
I was in the studio as a youngster, a young buck, I was working with Ted Courier, and we didn't have the digital technology that we have today. So
Right.
it was analog. So stacking, if you will, you take one part and you have to stack it 2 or 4 times or however many times you want. Um, Ted would make me do it until it was perfect. So it really just came down to counting. It was numbers, 1, 2, 3. If I did that every time, 1, 2, 3, and then start, 1, 2, 3, and then start, it would start at the same time. And it just comes down to counting and breathing and doing that repetitively. And I got good at it. It's not, I'm only good at it because I've done it so much. That was the way. That was the way to get that sound back in the day. And now, I go into the studio and I'm with one of these young singers or even rappers that be trying to sing, and we'll cut a track and I'll say, okay, you ready to stack it? And they don't even know what I'm talking about. Like,
Like
what you mean stack it? What you mean stack it? You just put something on that and make it sound good. Yeah, I could, but it would sound better if you stacked it. And 9.5 times out of 10, we don't get it.
Wow.
I'll either have to end up doing it myself, or then we'll just do something else. We'll process the vocal in a different way that doesn't require that. But that's not even something that happens much anymore. But
It's not.
it's my way. It's still how I do it.
Yeah, it's not. But you know what? Anything that it's a pleasure to have you on anything that you decide is worthy.
Thank you.
Really. It is. It is.
Like your project. I'm on your project that
Listen,
I decided was worthy.
The first time I came in here and I heard you on my project, I cried. I bawled. I bawled.
Come over here. I've been asking. I'm not gonna ask you again, my friend. Now come near. Our pleasure's not soon to end. No. We'll start over here and we'll move from room to room. And when I'm done, we'll be lying under the silver moon. You'll be so glad that I said, come here.
Like literally, and I don't cry easily, but I bawled. So it was a
nice.
pleasure.
That's
Such a
nice.
pleasure.
It's good. It's good. It's good music. That kind of smooth jazz listening, easy listening stuff. That was
Yeah.
good. It's a good project.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Listen,
Is it ever going to see the light of day, Kelly?
good question.
If you feel it's great, listen. Every time we go over it, and I'm like, well, did Tony hear it? What does Tony think about it?
Hey,
And
listen.
Tony has said that it's not here in the light of day.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you something. It just got played for Gary a couple days ago.
Yesterday. Listen, and speaking of Gary, going in circles, that was an amazing project that you did with him.
Yeah, that
Like I was
was
Gary
so,
Purcell.
It was so awesome.
Gary was persistent, because I didn't know Gary from a can of paint. I'm gonna tell you that. But he kept contacting me and asking me to do a song with him, and when I slowed down to pay attention to see what song it was.
You got me going in circles. Round and round I go. You got me going in circles, baby. Round and round I go.
I decided to do it. I didn't even charge him for it. I just did it because I liked the song and I wanted to.
Right.
Nice.
And that was, I mean, Going in Circles is a classic back from the day. Isaac Hayes, Luther Vandross. I know you know who.
Charlie Wilson,
Yes. Yes.
Friends of Distinction recorded it initially,
Yeah.
and a whole bunch of unknowns have recorded it.
Yeah. 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 A great song. And then
I'm actually going to redo it. I'm going to redo it. Maybe as a a single to toss out, or it may even end up on my project. But I do think it's a song that's worthy of being done right. And
Right.
so I have already started actually on reworking it.
Wow. Because you definitely put Tony in it, and that's always a good thing. It's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So listen, you've been, thanks to our good friend Denver Wright, I hear almost everything that you've done. So you stay relevant. You stay relevant, and you stay great over the years. During this transition of music, because you've seen so much change within the music industry, is it hard to stay true to yourself?
No.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, like I've had producers. Usually when I work with a producer, it's because I want something different. I want something, because I can produce myself vocally. But if I'm working with if I decide to relinquish and let someone else guide me through it, one is because I trust them. Two, I want something from them that I wouldn't normally do. You know what I mean? So if I'm in the studio and I'm singing it, whatever, and then the engineer or the producer might say, "Oh, no, that's dope, but how about trying it like this?" And if I trust them, then I might. I have been known to say, "No, what we got is cool. I'm done." Thank you.
Gotcha.
Right, because it's best for your voice. And other people are trying to take you other places. So
yeah,
with this life that we live in, with not only AI but all these artists that are coming up in YouTube, Instagram, and becoming Instagram famous, do you find that that's where you need to take yourself, or do you want to keep going down the same avenue that you've already been going?
Now I'll probably release something on the gram or TikTok, just because that's the way that it is. TikTok is the young people's radio.
Right.
TikTok is where the kids go to listen to new music. People don't. I mean, while radio is still very important, we generally only listen to it nowadays when we're in the car.
Right.
Maybe, because if you got your, whatever streaming service you're listening to, then you might be listening to that. But most people only listen to their radios in their car these days. And of course, you have your rush hour, morning and evening, drive time. So radio is still very important, but you got to go the way that it's going. And right now, this time dictates that we use social media. We include social media in the promotions of our works.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna charge you with this because we're in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter of the year. I need to hear something else from you.
It's coming. It's coming. I promise you. I don't know what, because it's hard to choose. It's hard to decide what what to release. What to release first, because whatever it is, it has to be the thing that kicks the door down, that kicks the door in and says, "I'm back, son." You know what I mean? It has to do that.
10,000 songs that say "I'm back, son," and you won't put them out.
Yeah. I think I have a few that are door kicker inners. But it remains to be seen. Everything sounds like a hit in the studio. Everything sounds like a smash in the studio. But when it gets out into the world,
everything I heard from you is a hit. So I'm gonna come down there. We're gonna figure it out together.
So I got a question with that. So you said everything sounds like a hit in the studio. So what's your process, or do you have a group of people that you trust when you want to release something?
Yeah, you gotta take it out of the studio. You have to take it out of that room and listen to it in the car, listen to it in different settings to see what it sounds like. Listen to it on a cheap radio, a cheap transistor radio with one speaker, because you still got to hear all the elements. You know, when you have to listen on the worst sounding device that you can find, the worst sounding device that you can find. And if it sounds good in that,
Tell that to the new school artists. They don't know nothing about that, huh?
Right.
That's original old school stuff. They don't know
I feel
nothing
like
about
he's
that
pointing at me though. He was like, "Are you pointing at me?"
Oh no, the finger was just crooked. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no, but you're right. You're right, because there are things that might be played with speakers all over the place and it sounds amazing. And then when you got that one speaker, you're like, okay, well, something's missing. You don't get that.
You got to be able to hear everything in that one speaker.
Right.
There has to be a space for everything, you know. And if you're successful at doing that, then you might have a good mix. And but even still, that doesn't determine whether or not it's a hit record or not. It has to connect to the world, to the public at large. One of the main ways that like radio is different these days is, back in the day, you could call the radio station, your favorite radio station, and say, play that new Tony Terry record. I just love that song, right? And if enough people call about the song, chances are it would get played and get played more and more and more and more. But radio is not programmed like that anymore. You can call 1,000 times for a song, and if it's not on the corporate playlist, then it's just not going to be played. That's just how it goes.
Well, if I gotta be honest, I did that a couple times. I ain't gonna call no names who I requested your songs for. They don't need to know all that. But yeah, I did that a couple times. Yeah, listen, can you play that Tony Terry for LaQuisha over here? I got him.
Yeah. Back in the day, that was kind of like, they would actually encourage you to call in and make your requests. But I don't think that happens as much anymore.
No.
And I get it. In this time, back in the day, we used to sing songs that were, they gave messages, but they weren't so overt as they are now. They
were thought provoking. They might make you anticipate when you get home. They might make you think about. But now they say, let me put that thing on you. Let me put that thing in your mouth.
Hey, look, it's not with you anymore.
It's very straightforward, very, very straightforward and explicit, and leave nothing to the imagination. But I was taught to tell the story, and the stories have beginnings, middles, and ends. Right. Songs don't have, and for me, the middle of a song would be the bridge. And today's music rarely incorporates a bridge.
Absolutely.
The structure is all gone, and so that's my question. There is, how do you still keep the same structure? You got to change. I mean, if music today doesn't have bridges, then you have to not have a bridge until you get enough people's attention that if you do incorporate a bridge, because it's shifted in a way that so few records, especially the current pop records or current urban records, they don't have bridges, that if it's done right, then it makes the music sound new.
Right.
Again, because you're doing something different that everyone else is not doing. But it's kind of it's a balancing act, because in so doing could also make you sound dated.
Right.
Because records are not done like that anymore. But it's the song determines what happens, and the amount of followers, the amount of people that are paying attention. If you have people's attention, then you can kind of give them what you want them to have.
Yeah.
But if you don't have their attention, then you're just kind of doing like this. Hey, look at me. Hey, and a sea of other people doing the same thing.
Right.
Have you ever had a song that you thought was like, this is a definite hit, this is going to be a smash right here, but once it got released, it's like it didn't do what you thought it would do? And
everything I call is a smash. It's a smash.
Wait. Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because this one right here does not put out anything that is not a hit and that he doesn't feel comfortable with. There's stuff that we all feel as consumers that is great, but he don't like it.
Hold on. Huh? You know what? I'm done with the interview. Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you, brother. You know, hey, look, no more need to be said from me. I'm good.
No. All right. Well, listen, it has been such a pleasure, and I'm so glad that you
Absolutely
took the time out to be with us today. I want to thank all of our followers for being with us, for rocking with us, and continuously being with us every week.
Thank you.
I'm floored because, like, that last thing, everything I put on his head just got me down there.
This is when we interview you. This is how you shut down the interview. You understand? This is how you shut it down right here. There's nothing else to be said. This is how you do it properly.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're definitely going to have Tony on again another time. We'll
Absolutely.
talk about so much more.
Thank you. Come back and join us, brother.
Yes.
I will,
Make sure-
absolutely, man. Thanks for having me, y'all, and continued success. Good luck, and God bless. Until the next time.
Thank you so
man.
much.
God
You stay
bless
right
you,
there
man.
for just a moment, but I want
Please.
everyone else to like, share, and subscribe because if you don't, we can't be here.
Absolutely.
And until then, I'm Kelly.
I'm Wayne.
I'm Tony.
Let's spark something real.
What they said. Yes.
That's what they say.
We hope you've enjoyed Smoke and Ice with Kelly and Wayne. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Tell a friend so they too can be informed and entertained. For more information about the show, go to smokeandice.net.